All right, I want you to picture this with me. Imagine a totally cinematic, high-definition 4K heritage scene unfolding right before your eyes. You're standing in this ancient, glowing field surrounded by luminous Hebrew words. Suspended right there in the air, the letters for the words Zeh and Zot are radiating this intense, pulsing energy. Slowly, right in front of you, these letters start transforming into brilliant streams of pure Torah light. And within this breathtaking, almost holographic matrix, you see the biblical figures of Jacob and Joseph standing together, completely bathed in that glow. Woven through all of those glowing letters, acting like this ethereal connective tissue, is the Shekhinah, the radiant manifest presence of the divine, guiding humanity toward ultimate redemption. Pretty incredible, right? Well, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are taking an exhaustive deep dive into a profoundly powerful Kabbalistic secret. We're going to look at the words Zeh and Zot, and we're not just looking at them as basic pronouns. We're decoding them as the fundamental symbols of the Torah, the Shekhinah, and the future Geula, or redemption, exactly as it's laid out in the Zohar, specifically in Parashat Vayechi. Okay, let's dive into this using a framework we can all wrap our heads around. Think of our roadmap today as a system boot-up sequence. First, we'll explore the cosmic OS. Second, we'll break down the root commands, Zeh and Zot. Third, we'll look at the system architecture. Fourth, the color shifts. And finally, number 5, the redemption protocols.
So, initiating step 1, the cosmic operating system. Now, when we delve into Jewish mysticism, it is absolutely crucial to understand that we aren't just dealing with abstract philosophical poetry here, not at all. We were actually looking at a highly intricate, multi-layered model of what we can call cosmic engineering. Just imagine reality itself as a massive, incredibly complex supercomputer. In this model, the Torah functions as the central operating system. It doesn't just contain a list of ethical laws, it is the actual, literal central code that governs and sustains every single aspect of reality. Without the Torah running constantly in the background, the hardware of the universe essentially has no instructions. Nothing runs. The Sephirotic, those 10 divine emanations, they act as the network nodes through which this operating system distributes energy, blessing, and ultimately redemption itself. So you might be asking, where do Zeh and Zot fit into all of this? In a simple Hebrew translation, Zeh means the masculine this, and Zot means the feminine this. But when we drop down into the realm of Sud, the secret mystical level of interpretation, these are definitely not mere pronouns. Going back to our tech analogy, Zeh and Zot are core system identifiers. They act as the master keys. They are the root commands that actually grant you administrative access to the entire universal network. When you input these two commands correctly, they unlock full cosmic functionality. They are the essential triggers we need to initiate a system-wide restoration and bring the whole cosmos into perfect, harmonious alignment.
Moving right along to step 2, root commands, Zu and Zot. Let's get into their specific architecture within this divine network.
Let's dynamically contrast these two forces because they are fascinating. First, Zeh. Zeh is intrinsically linked to the Sephir of Tiferet. This is the masculine dimension, representing beauty, balance, and revealed harmony. And in the biblical narrative, this dimension is represented perfectly by Jacob. Now, on the other side of that equation, we have Zot. Zot corresponds to the Sephir of Malchut. This represents the feminine dimension, the physical world, and the manifest presence of the divine, which we know as the Shekhinah. So the absolutely crucial point to grasp here is that Zeh is the harmonious code written right into the core processor, and Zot is the beautiful, tangible interface where that code actually manifests in our physical reality.
To really ground this technology in the ancient texts, listen to this phenomenal insight from the Zohar in Parashat Decoded. It says, "The Holy Spirit is called Zot, the holy impression found constantly with a person." I mean, that is staggering. The Zohar is essentially telling us that Zot, the Shekhinah, the Malchut, is quite literally the user interface of the divine. It's the connection point that is always online. It is constantly with humanity, just waiting for us to engage with it. It's the physical presence of this massive system that we have the privilege to interact with every single day.
Okay, step 3, the Torah system architecture. Kabbalah is incredibly precise, especially when it comes to numbers. So let's look at the 3 foundational numbers that define this operating system. The first number we need to look at is 2. This represents the fundamental duality of the entire system. It's the absolutely necessary union of the masculine and the feminine, the Zeh and the Zot, Tiferet and Malchut. Think about it. Just like binary code requires both ones and zeros to create complex software, the Cosmic OS requires the perfect unification of these two specific forces to boot up those ultimate redemption protocols. Without this union, the system just remains fragmented.
The second number is 10. This reveals the complete, overarching Torah structure, and it maps directly onto the 10 Sephirot. Now remember, these 10 dimensions are not isolated islands. They function together as a single, unified systemic network. From the highest, most abstract will of the crown, all the way down to the physical manifestation in Malchut, the number 10 ensures that the entire operating system is robust, it's holistic, and it is fully capable of channeling infinite light into our finite world.
And the third number is 613. This represents the full command system. As we know, in the Torah, there are exactly 613 mitzvot, or commandments. In our cosmic engineering model, these mitzvot are the specific lines of code. They are the executable files that run the OS. When humanity performs these 613 commands, we literally keep the 10 Sephirot aligned, ensuring that the critical connection between Zeh and Zot remains strong and unbroken.
This breakdown brilliantly illustrates how these components interact. At the top, Tiferet, or Zot, acts as the core processor. Its function is generating revealed harmony. At the bottom, we have Malchut, or Zot, acting as the output display. That is where the Shekhinah visibly manifests. But how do they actually talk to each other? How do they connect? That happens through the Sephirah of Yesod. Yesod acts as the critical data bus. It's the channel, the connecting conduit that binds the core processor to the output. Think of it literally like an epic video game. We are the players, and we must unlock this Torah code by mastering the commands of Tiferet and Yesod. Only then can we activate the hidden levels of Malchut and finally unlock the ultimate redemption powers.
Step 4. Color shifts. How do we actually know if this ancient system is running smoothly, or if it's encountering fatal errors?
Well, the Kabbalistic texts explain that the cosmos actually visually signals its status to us through stark color shifts, and this is entirely based on our inputs. The system relies on two primary color indicators. White represents the active, unblemished light of the Torah. It signals Rachamim, which is divine mercy. So when the system flashes white, it means the network is in perfect harmony, the commands are flowing exactly as they should, and Zeh and Zot are totally unified. Conversely, red is the ultimate system error. It represents the absence of Torah. When the code is broken or corrupted, it triggers din, or harsh judgment. Red basically means the connection between the core processor and the output display has been severed, and a system-wide debugging is urgently needed.
And finally, Step 5, activating redemption protocols. Understanding this code is not just some fun intellectual exercise. It is the literal key to triggering the ultimate Geula. Let's see how this builds, step by step, just like a grand system boot-up sequence. Step 1, we must achieve the perfect alignment of Zeh and Zot, bringing Tiferet and Malchut into absolute harmony. Step 2, once they're aligned, we must actively channel that divine flow straight through the conduit of Yesod, ensuring the data transfer is completely uninterrupted by any of those system errors or red judgments we just talked about. And finally, Step 3, doing all of this successfully unlocks the final level, the global, unhindered manifestation of the Shekhinah right here in our physical reality. The cosmos is aligned, the Torah code is flawlessly executed, and redemption is officially achieved.
And that brings us right back to the sheer power of Jacob's verse in Parashat Vayechi, "My sons whom God gave me in this." The text uses the word bazeh. Right here, Jacob is literally applying the root command. He is using the cosmic OS to secure blessing and signal the future redemption through the union of these sacred letters into pure redemptive light. So leaving you with this ultimate question today, how are you actively inputting the codes of Zeh and Zot into the terminal of your own daily life? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.